Hello everybody, welcome to my RBT Exam Prep video. Today, I will be reviewing the following: measurement procedures, specifically continuous and discontinuous, permanent product measurement, different assessments such as preference and functional, different types of reinforcement, and the schedules of reinforcement. I hope you all find this video very useful, and I hope that you all pass your RBT exam and receive your certification. As you can see, I divided this slide into two parts: continuous measurement and discontinuous measurement. Throughout the PowerPoint, I will be discussing more details regarding each of the bulleted points that you see under each section, but for now, I will just list it so you can help memorize all of the continuous and discontinuous measurements for the exam. Under continuous measurement, we have frequency, rate, latency, and duration. For discontinuous measurement, I have listed partial interval, whole interval, momentary time sampling, and percent correct. Beginning with frequency. Frequency is the amount of times that a behavior takes place. In other words, you would count the amount of times the behavior is shown in order to calculate the frequency. For example, Sally screamed 10 times during the session. In this specific example, the frequency of behavior is 10. The second example, the client tantrum 5 times during the session. The frequency during this specific example would be 5. Another example of continuous measurement is rate. The rate is the amount of times a specific behavior occurs during a particular time frame. This is crucial to understand if you're going to calculate the rate of a behavior, because in order to calculate this, you would divide the frequency of the behavior by the length of the session time or a specific time measure given to you by your BCBA. For example, rather than the full session time, your BCBA might want you to record how many behaviors are exhibited during 5 minutes of the session or 10 minutes of the session. Like the example below, for example, if 10 behavioral responses took place in 5 minutes, the rate is 2 responses per minute. I used the 10 behavioral responses, divided it by the 5 minutes, in order to calculate the 2 responses per minute, resulting in 2 being the rate. Moving on to different forms of discontinuous measurement, you will be starting with partial and whole intervals. During the partial interval, you would record whether the behavior took place during any part of the interval, whether it be 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or the entirety of a session, depending on what interval your BCBA will give you. Regarding the whole interval, you would record whether or not the behavior took place during the entire time that interval was active. So for example, if the interval given by your BCBA was 5 minutes, then every 5 minutes you would record whether or not the behavior took place for the entirety of those 5 minutes. Moving on to other forms of discontinuous measurement, we have momentary time sampling and percent correct. During the momentary time sampling procedure, you would record whether the behavior takes place the moment the interval ends, whereas for percent correct, you would have to calculate the frequency of behavior being shown during a specific set of trials in order to form a ratio and convert it into a percentage. So for example, if a client showed a specific behavior during 5 out of the 10 trials that were conducted by the RBT instructor, it would result in a ratio of 5 to 10. You would convert this ratio of 5 to 10 to percentage by doing division, so you do 5 over 10, or 5 divided by 10, to get 50% correct. Thank you so much for watching this RBT exam prep video regarding measurement procedures, which were discontinuous and continuous measurmental procedures. In the other videos following this one, I will be reviewing the rest of the RBT exam preparation from the beginning slide that I showed you in the beginning of this video regarding permanent product measurement, assessment such as preference and functional assessments, the types of reinforcement, and schedules of reinforcement.